Hi, my name is Jacob Youngblood with National Control Device, and today I'm going to show you how to configure your WebEye relay controller. Right, the first thing you'll notice is that we're on the relays page when we first load, and we'll want to go into the configure page. And this is the device configuration page. This lets you set most of the administrative options for the board. Up here you can name this device, and this is used to, if you have multiple boards, keep track of which one this particular board is. You can set up a password for the device. By default it doesn't have one, but all you have to do is click this and type in your password and hit update, and it'll work fine. Services, the NCD network component, you need to have this enabled if you want to control it using the NCD network component available from controlanything.com. The signalswitch.com is the classic signalswitch.com, the one that you have to log into and set up a custom page for. It is not the link.signalswitch.com that works by default with your WebEye controller. So you can unselect that if you'd want and hit update. And on this section you can choose which page you would like to be the default page for your WebEye. You can choose any of the pages. We didn't give you an option for the configuration page just because we assumed you wouldn't need it. You can also set which device you'd like the web pages to be optimized for. Right now the only main difference is on the relays page. There's an animation on the desktop version and not on the tablet or mobile phone, but we'll be making more specialized pages for each one of these as we keep working on it. Here you can set up your IP address. You can choose to do a DHCP configuration, which allows your router to give it an IP address based on what's available and what's lowest in the number order. Or you can use a static IP address by selecting this radio box and filling in this information. Right now it's set for 192.168.1.2. You can set that to anything that you'd like. You can set it out of the bounds of your router, in which case you wouldn't be able to access it. But what you can do is set the controller itself to configuration mode instead of run mode using the jumper, and then it will automatically go back to a DHCP configuration so you can access it again and change those settings. Right? And right down here we have the remote server configuration. By default it goes to link.signalswitch.com, which allows you to access it over the internet without a static IP address. And you can change that to your own custom server if you want to do that. Just change this to the URL and then change the port number that server is listening on, and it should be ready to go. And the TCP socket listener is if you want to control this device with your own custom software. Just set the port that you want the Lantronix module to be listening on, and you should be ready to go. Just start writing to that port. Right, and we're going to go to the relay configuration page. One last thing I should note on this device configuration page: many of these, after you change them, you'll need to hit this reboot, which will reboot the module and it'll be ready in 30 seconds. But it's required to get a lot of these things instantiated into the memory of the device. Right, we're going to go over to the relay configuration page. And here you can set how many banks your relay controller has. I only have one bank on mine, so I'm going to choose that and hit update. Right? And now you can just name it whatever you'd like. And say this relay went to the lights in your office. This one went to an outlet and a lamp. Right? Just make any changes you want, hit update. And those changes will show up in the relays page right here. Right, and now we're going to go to MyPage Configuration. What MyPage does is allows you to create your own custom macros, which is basically you can send up to 3 commands using one button from the MyPage HTML page. And you can customize the commands, send whichever ProXR commands you want, tell it how many bytes are expected back from that, which usually it'll be 1, but if you're asking for the A to D inputs of all 8 A to D inputs, then you'll choose 8 for that. The command timeout, you can actually use this as a timer to kind of put a delay in between your commands. So if you wanted a 3-second delay between turning on relay 1 and then turning off relay 1, you could set it here, or you can use a timer function that's built into the ProXR. It's really up to you however you want to use it. And any changes you want to make to that, just make them and hit the update button, and they should show up on the MyPage book. Alright, we're going to go to A to D configuration. And this is pretty basic. You just name your A to D inputs to whatever you want them to be called. The interesting thing here is this refresh rate in seconds. determines how often the A to D page refreshes the inputs and sends the command. You don't want to set this too low. I've gotten it to go every second. I think I've gotten it to go every half second, but that was only one user. If you have multiple users using this, I wouldn't recommend going below 3, and you might even bump it up to 5 or 10. If you set it too low, the controller will lock up, but depending on how long or how many commands it has to process, it could take up to 20 minutes if it has a lot, but it'll probably get back to itself in 2 minutes. So just make any changes you want there and hit update A to D, and then your A to D will be configured. And that's about all I have to show you for configuring your WebEye relay controller. Alright, well, that's it for configuring your WebEye. Catch you on the flip side.